Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. It's Sarah and today we're going to be decorating a little tin. I love a tin, and for me this Herbs and Delights collection shouted tins and envelopes, and I'm really looking forward to playing with it. For this tin I've just gone with putting in some little tags, and this stamp set has details for each of the 4 herbs in this beautiful font. So I've filled up my tin with just little tags, but these would work really well on a card. There's lots you can do with this. And then inside at the bottom I often just add a little bit of collage with bits that are left over. I did flora and fauna in on this one. So that's the plan. But you could do a theme, you could have like just rosemary and pop a sprig of rosemary in, and or just to pop some chocolates in. Tins are really fun to make. So let's get started. I'm using A6 multifarious. So we're going to do the background for the front of the tin, and then we'll also then do the background for the tags. I'm using one of my favourites, stencils, which is Ambiance. And what I'm going to do is sprinkle a few Dinkles powders through, and then rather than using just water, I'm going to use mahogany twist today to spray through, so that gives it quite a pink, colourful effect. So let's just sprinkle. So this is lime. And this is pink. I'm going to pop some blueberry in there. And this one is burnt orange. I'm going to spritz them with some water. Then also with this mahogany twist, which is a pink based ink with, I think it's a gold shimmer, if I remember rightly. So there we are. I've got a really nice inky stencil there, and so I might as well use that. And then that can go on the side somewhere else. Another project. It's pretty. You can see the difference in these. This is really much more textured, much busier. I'm going to spritz it a bit more because I want some of those speckles to blur a little bit. So let's spritz this with some water and then blot it with the kitchen roll, which also just helps lift that colour a bit as well, so it's not too overpowering. Yep, that's looking nice. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. It will dry naturally, and we can come back to it, but we're going to do the other background for the tags. This is much more of a neutral one. I'm going to use Chestnut Bay, it's one of my favourites, and I'm just going to spritz my stencil. It's looking a bit like it's spritzing a bit wrinkly there. So I'm wetting the stencil with spray, as you can see, but the other thing I could do is I could use the grey or the Payne's grey Dinkles. That makes a nice neutral background. Or any of the sprays, really. Nice and not overpowering. Kind of going into the back of things rather than standing out. So there we go. That's going to be for the tags inside. So again, popping that to one side to dry. My background for the front of the tin, don't really need a huge amount. I really like this green. That's the lime with some of the burnt orange next to it. I think that's really pretty. And that purple. So I'm going to guillotine that down. So I've cut my piece of card to size, and I'm going to use my corner chomp, my crocodile corner chomper, which I don't think is available at the moment from Lavinia Stamps, but they do have a corner punch. So just curve those corners, soften them off. And you can see, I mean, this is going to be different every time you do it because you couldn't replicate the same sprinkle, as it were. We need the silhouette grass and our young Ben. It's just, it's not feeling well gripped, that. Hopefully it's not going to fall off my block. Yep. So we just have a bit of grass down here. It's a bit lower than the other one, but that's okay. So there's the grass. Then we're going to pop Ben on. And then we can see how to curve the dandelion around. So it looks like he's standing under it. Is the effect I was going for. So there he is, standing amongst the grass. Ready with his spade. And the dandelion, we're going to curve it, so it's going to be coming up here and curving round. See if that's... I've got a better curve on this one. Yeah, that works. I'll stamp it over his head, a bit like an umbrella. We're going to have one going that way and then one kind of going to the other direction. The one's going to be coming like this. Ink up that stamp. And there we go. And there we have all our images. Find you a clean piece of paper so you can see it. There it is. Almost looks like a sunset, this one, doesn't it? I used some Blue Lagoon to give almost like well, on this one I think it looks quite like a night sky, but this one is looking a bit lighter, so it might look like a daytime sky. So using a bit more colour around the edges, and then just using a little bit of colour to fill in those gaps. Because obviously where it's blue, there's a lot of, well, there's yellow, sorry, if there's a lot of blue on top, it will turn green. Because those colours lay over each other. There we are. Quick spritz of water. Let me just take the excess bit of that off. Quick spritz, so I'm holding it quite well back, so I just want some fine bits of droplets of water. And what they've done is they give me some lovely texture in the blue lifted that off. And then all I need to do with this one now is add some Bibbidi Bobbidi glue. I'm at the end of my old bottle here. Bibbidi Bobbidi glue is a really good strong white glue, so it will stick this card to the tin really nicely. I use my finger to apply glue because then I don't have to wash a brush. A lot easier to wash my finger. So there goes Ben on his tin. Use a piece of paper to rub it over, just because then if I've got any dirty marks on my finger, they're not smearing all over. I'm just pressing that down. And then a simple sticker from the sticker sheet. Ray of Sunshine's rather lovely, isn't it? I put Away with the Fairies on the other one. I'm going to put Ray of Sunshine on here because I think he is. And then I've edged the writing with my gold Wink of Stella pen, but I've added some gold highlights with a bottle of Drop of Shimmer. Probably should have done this before I put it on the tin, but it doesn't really matter. Let's take the lid off. So just edging the words. It just kind of takes the edge off that stark white. There. Another drop of shimmer. It's one of my favourite ways to add gold. They're not cheap bottles, but they are worth every penny in my book. A lot of gold inks will separate even as you're working with them. The gold will sink to the bottom and you don't get a good effect, but this is just brilliant. And this brush, I just love this brush. It's one of the fine detail ones, a 2. And it's so pleasing to add little bits of gold with painting those details on with this brush. Very relaxing. There we go. Now, see if I can splatter any with this brush. Yeah, getting a few bits. You need it quite wet, so if it's not dripping, you're not getting any splatter, just add a bit of water and then it really will. Or you can, because this brush is so fine, you can just add some dots with the end of the brush if you want. Didn't mean to get any on his hat, but that doesn't really matter. It's like golden rain. There we go, catching that gold shimmer. We're ready to make some tags inside, so I'll show you them as a reminder. Put that back. I'm just going to make one on the video because it's the same principle all the way along. So what I'm going to be using A6 card just so I can get myself a few tags out of this. So this is another good way of using up scraps of card as well. You don't have to start with an A6 piece like I did. So I've got some long pieces, pots. So I'm going to stamp. There we go. And with this one, what I'm doing is I'm just popping the words, so it's just this corner. I'm just going to go with that top bit. There's a nice gap between the letters, with it between the rows, which means there's no need for any masking. It's just stamps on there. So that's rosemary. And then we'll find the pot of rosemary. And stamp it on our tag. Detail on these is just exquisite, as you would expect from Tracy's Way. Then I've got a black pen, and I'm just doing a few dots to ground my pot. And the tags, you'll see from the tags I made, they're all different sizes because that's the size that I had left. So I've made some of the pot stamps bigger, and that was all I had left of my piece, so I just made it narrower and had a bit hanging off the edge. Then we're going to edge that with a bit of brown. Let's get some truffle and a stencil brush. It's got some green on there. Let's pop some as a background. So I'm kind of cleaning my brush, but using what I'm cleaning. So I'll edge this with some truffle elements. That gives us that nice neutral background. Use one of the small hole punches, so I'm going to fit those two together like that, and then make a hole roughly in the middle. And you'll see I've taken there was a catcher thing on there which I take off just so I can see where the holes go. So we just need a bit of thread to hang those two together. And then to finish off the tin, we're going to add a little bit of collage in the bottom. See what we've got. So when I've cleaned my stencil off before, that's the kind of thing I'll use on the bottom of here. So let's go with that. It's a little bit down there. Get some scissors. I'm just going to tear that. Nearly lost my tin. So I've just torn a slim bit, I guess you would call it, which I'm going to glue in. And we're just at the end of this pot. There we go. Put that in there. And let's put a bit of the sage. Because I think that will bring the colours through. And I really like that greeny bit. So let's... It's a bit big. Not much of a contrast, but by the time we've stamped this and added a bit of, we can add a bit of stenciled ink, and then that will be a nice contrast. So there's that. Let's pop some blue behind. There we are. Glue that in. And then one of my other favourite things to do is to make some little paper dots of Sarah confetti, which is just using the hole punch to make these circles. So there we go. Add that there. And then find the weird stamp again. And create a little bit of collage paper down here because it'd be easy to reach. So I'm just stamping the words over and over again to make a little piece of text collage paper. Punch some holes in here now. This is a normal, well, it's a single of a, you know, just like an office hole punch, or we do sell a set of 3 sizes like this. Got a different coloured handle at the moment, which are great. I just can't lay my hands on the one that's this size. That's the size I wanted. It's pinging all over the place. So let's get some glue. Dab that in. Again, it's just adding a bit of variety, bit of interest to the collage. Then we just need to find some words that we like. Love nature's rather nice, isn't it? That works very well. And I'm just going to cut that in half. I'm going to trim the edges off so that they all look like they've got the same kind of gap on each side of the word. And one of the tricks I like to do is put things in wonky, because if you're trying to line them up and you don't line it up straight, it annoys the eye intensely. But if you deliberately make them wonky, then that's right, because you've made it wonky. Now on this one I kind of gave a little bit of scribble with a pencil. I'm going to leave that one like that. So we need a bit of, we've got all sorts of colours of thread. Yeah, we have a few different colours in the fibre packs. I'm going to use the blue because then it will pull the blue through from the lid. We can get it through this little hole on camera with a gluey finger. There we go, a little gift tin. All about herbs. I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know if you make some, because I love seeing the ways people interpret it, even just because we all use different colours, or it just falls differently every time. It's really, yeah, really love to see it. So thanks for joining me, and see you soon.